Hi, Rebecca Kingdon joining you from CPA Australia, and I'm fortunate enough to be joined by Ray Hammond, Europe's leading futurologist. He says the always everything to everyone, everywhere is rushing toward us, and we will be discussing the future of business with him today. Also, Alex Malley, President of CPA Australia, is with us, Australia's largest accounting body, and he has a long history in the profession at education and consulting levels. Thank you both for joining me this morning. On the subject of climate crisis, Ray, what does this mean for business now and into the future?
It presents fantastic opportunities for business, because if all of a sudden we have to find new sources of energy from new areas that do not pollute, that do not chuck out greenhouse gases, I, as a business person, am lit up with possibilities. I can think I could plunge into renewables. I could provide biofuels that allow the pleasure boats in Sydney Harbour to take all the people out on their jolly trips without them emitting any green emissions. I can imagine working towards biofuels for jet planes, which allow all of us to attend congresses like this without contributing to carbon emissions. The opportunities for business are manifold. Whenever you're faced with a serious threat in the world, there is the opportunity to grow, to make money, to contribute value by what you're doing. It's a fantastic opportunity.
What are the challenges then, Ray? Obviously there are challenges in accounting and challenges for the business world. What are the challenges that we're facing right now?
Well, let's just think what climate crisis includes. Some of it includes extreme weather. Well, just think if you're an insurer and you've got properties in vulnerable areas, are you going to be challenged? Of course you are. Just think if you're a property developer and you realise that part of your properties may be in marginal areas where extreme weather is going to affect the values. Are you going to be challenged? Of course you are. If you're actually a transportation provider, railways, planes, ships, and all of a sudden the climate is playing havoc with your potential to deliver transport, are you challenged? Of course you are. But actually, there are so many opportunities to find a better way of doing those things.
There is no doubt that people are very aware of the climate crisis, as you call it, Ray, and CPA Australia, Alex, has been looking at the issues that are involved with climate change, if you like, such as carbon trading. Can you tell us a little bit about those things?
CPA Australia has taken the thought leadership position on a range of issues they believe affect the community, and more importantly, that the accounting profession can help. We've issued a policy in relation to our view on emissions trading and the matters that we believe need to be included in the measurement of that and the reporting of that. Now that's in its own right created a level of debate which we believe needs to be had before we can come up with a conclusive position on these sorts of areas. But what it does remind us of is the fact that the accounting professional today's role is changing, but still founded on the same skills of integrity, reporting, and broadening the reach of our reporting mechanism and making it more relevant to more people. So although I may have studied in 1980 about the fundamental principles of accounting, my challenge is to take those skills and extrapolate those to a much larger market and a much larger community. But ultimately, people in the community will be saying, we hear the debate about climate crisis, but we'd be interested to see what those who report on it and who are in the area of reporting have to say, and what they believe is the most credible way to report that information. And that's where I think our opportunity is in relation to emissions trading and other community issues.
Have you found that your members, Alex, are very interested in finding out more about how they can account for these things?
We have, and we've found that previously in other broadening of reporting mechanisms. What's been very interesting is it's bringing out a new part of our profession, a new group of members. Not all young, but people who've had an interest in this for a long time, who haven't necessarily sat down and thought that they could be relevant to this debate. And hence my keenness in the President's role to open our own members' minds and the community's minds on how we can be increasingly relevant to society. I happen to believe that we can be relevant in a range of areas, and if we can bring some credibility to the climate crisis debate, then we have a lot to offer society. Once these issues become political, then I think we need to have an anchor, and we can provide that.
Ray, is it all bad news in the climate crisis?
It's not good news in the immediate future when it comes to climate crisis. We have got a period in time say 10 to 20 years in which we're going to have to adapt very quickly. We do need every business, every organisation to start accounting for its carbon. This is a completely new area for many businesses, and consumers in the next 5 years will be demanding to know the carbon footprint of any individual product or service. They're going to want to know the energy that was involved in producing that product or service, and they're going to want to know how much of it can be recovered. What this means is we've got great challenges, but also some wonderful opportunities. It's always double-edged. It's always double-edged. In this instance, it's a very dynamic period we're going into.